All right, don't hold the bundle like that, dude. Don't hold it by the fuse. That doesn't make any sense.
Just throw them. Just throw them at me. I'll catch them.
I don't know how stable they are.
Come on, dude. I got these fucking badass fucking wide receiver gloves.
Listen.
You hear that? They're sticking.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but where do you want me to ash?
You told me you don't want to throw them at me, but you're smoking.
Yeah, of course I'm smoking, dude. We're working.
By the way,
takes the edge off.
They came through and said we need to put fucking batteries back in the smoke alarms.
No, fuck that, dude.
I know it was you because you started smoking, which I don't have a problem with. This is America. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, well, I'm going to smoke inside.
Just ash in the mop
here
bucket.
Nor there. We've got to load up all this dynamite into this fucking old hot dog cart that nobody needs.
Yeah. Nobody asked you where we got this, right?
Why is this back here in the first place?
Nobody asked you where we got this dynamite, did they?
Knock, knock.
No.
You guys in there?
Oh, fuck. I thought he was supposed to be in at like 4. What? Yeah.
You guys in there?
We're just drinking a beer.
We're not wearing any clothes.
I can smell your smoke, bro.
I fucking told you.
We don't need clothes on to smoke.
You got any menthols, dude? I'll smoke one. I'll burn one before my shift.
Yeah, I'll slide it under the door for you.
Why don't you just open the door?
Like Dean said, we're naked.
We're not wearing any clothes in here.
I've seen both of your butts and dicks and balls and like.
He's trying to finish the tattoo.
I don't hear the gun going.
Dan, put this other dynamite in there.
Shh.
Did you say dynamite?
No.
No.
Dan, keep packing it
What
in
are you
there.
guys?
Kron, you can't tell people on the outside of a closet to keep packing it. They're going to think something's weird. We already said we were naked in here.
I don't really like when people are in there with my hot dog cart.
It's fine. Nobody's touched it.
Oh, shit.
So can you at least like push the cart out then?
It's going to be like a good 15.
Yeah.
Why?
We're having a beer. We're having a cig. We're thinking of ways to finally get rid of the big wall video. It's just a brainstorm in here.
Wait,
I think you got too
listen,
much, man. I don't know if it's all going to fit.
1 + 1. What are you guys doing with my hot dog cart?
Dan, just cut them in half and put them around the corners.
All right, I got my butterfly knife. That's a good idea.
Are you trying to Trojan horse the fucking Great Wall or Big Wall with my fucking hot dog cart?
Why would we be throwing condoms at... What are you talking about? Nobody has condoms in here. Nobody's used a condom since high school.
Okay, that makes me believe that you have condoms in there now.
Dan,
It's like a steel trap.
I am wearing a condom.
For what?
In case I have sex.
No, dude, you're supposed to... Shit.
The least sexy part of the night is when you have to take it out of the package. You're under the clock, dude. You got to get that thing on there before you start going down.
Bones, I thought you explained sex to him like last shift.
Listen,
No.
I'm over trying to fucking teach you guys anatomy. Okay, what I'm concerned about is that my vintage hot dog cart that I pushed back all the way from Chicago is going to be tainted with dynamite.
Oh, shit, dude. A nitroglycerin. Put that on top. That's going to be nice.
Kron, I'm cutting these in half.
Yeah.
Dude, these are fucking hot dogs.
What are you sawing?
Dynamite?
Why are you sawing stuff in half?
What are you
This
talking
isn't
about?
dynamite.
You know what?
These are hot dogs.
Yeah, but I put fuses in them.
You know what? I'm going home. Fuck it.
Is there anything that's going to explode in here?
I mean, the fuses spark.
Bones, don't worry. There's no dynamite, apparently. It's just hot dogs. He put fuses in them.
Bones left.
Open the door.
I can't. It's locked from the outside.
Bones.
Listen. Why don't you slide a couple of those hot dogs into a couple buns?
I'm getting claustrophobic, dude.
All right, there's a
Open the
13-inch back here. There's a 13-inch back here.
Open the fucking door.
It's got a DVD VHS combo hooked up to it.
Stop talking. You're using too much air.
We will just watch a movie, and then we'll figure out how to get out of here.
Call Bone. Where's your phone?
It's outside.
Oh, yeah.
And it's out of boost minutes, so...
All right, what are we watching?
Get the hot dogs ready, because tonight we're watching The Swimmer. Welcome back, everybody, to the 5-Day Rentals podcast. This is the video store podcast. We take turns picking a flick that we think meets a fun, non-genre specific category. This round's category is, it's a doozy, the English class TV cart, parentheses, based on a book. I am Kron Howard. I will be hosting this evening. Joined as always by, two guys that couldn't make the Bizwingers Christmas card list. It's Bones and Laundry Dan. How you doing? This is where you two talk.
Howdy, Kron. How are
Sorry,
you?
I was off in my own dream world. I'm doing my own thing.
It's on a day like this. On a day like this. Mm-hmm. What a beautiful day. Look at those clouds.
Hit 77 this week here in St. Louis. Beautiful November day.
Hell yeah, dude.
Went for a nice shirtless run.
I think it was 83 out here yesterday.
Kron, I'm so happy that this category is about to be over because I cannot deal with the emotions. I know this was my category.
Yeah,
but God damn.
God damn, we knocked it out of the fucking park.
I mean, I thought for sure one of you was going to pick some horror or something, but you played fair and you stuck to the intent. The intent of the category you stuck to, and I'm regretting it because I don't need all that.
You could have just called it based on a book then if you...
I could have. I'm learning. This is how a human learns.
You wanted this.
Mistakes. Yeah.
You asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Dan, I know you had seen The Swimmer before. Bones, had you even heard of this movie?
I had heard of it. Well, I had seen the cover. When pulling up your Plex, I realized, oh shit, I've seen like this cover before. And then as I started to watch it, I believe when Joan Rivers died, I remember watching something that had her scene from this.
Yeah, I think it was her first role, maybe? Or like very, very early, if not her first.
Her 2-minute scene took 7 days to shoot or something. I think that was one of the weird tidbits that popped up.
Jeez, you guys have been reading Wikipedia.
What's that?
Huh? Oh, it's this cool new website I found.
What about you, Kron? Had you seen this before?
Yeah, I watched this a while. I mean, it might have been when we were doing before the podcast started, when we just had a text chain of like, here's the 3
challenge.
movies that everybody has to watch.
Yeah.
I think I might have watched it for that.
My Boost text messages don't go that far back.
Well, you've had a couple burners between then and now, so.
If you look at my list on Letterboxd, I think they're all there.
Bones, you brought up something important we've touched on this in earlier episodes of the podcast, but just to be clear, my Plex is working fine, and Dan is probably the one who is the issue in this whole system.
Your Plex the last few weeks has been working flawlessly for me.
I watched The
Interesting.
Swimmer today and it
Interesting.
worked fine.
Oh. Did you go in and update your preferences or something?
No, I just got on my more recent Apple TV.
Oh.
The one I have downstairs is like a fucking 3, I think.
So it's
Or
your
2.
hardware.
Was
Maybe it's a
there
2.
was there a difference in the time of day that you tried to watch it?
It was like 7 o'clock, 7 at night, the night that it stopped.
Could it have been when I was watching it and my internet beat the shit out of your internet?
No, because
don't
I
think
was
so.
watching Salem's Lot. You wouldn't watch that.
I would, if you picked it.
Exactly.
You know who directed that, Bones?
No, Salem's Lot, is that a Stephen King?
It's a Stephen King book, yeah.
Yeah,
Stephen
was
King
a-
only directed one movie.
yeah, I know. I didn't mean Stephen King directed it as my question. It meant like, does it fall under the purview of in the Stephen King averse? No, I'm unaware who directed it. Is it someone interesting, I guess?
It was Toby Hooper, the writing partner of Kim Hinkle.
Tobe.
Man, so
Is
jealous
it
you guys
Tobe
get
or
to meet him.
Toby?
It's
Toby.
Toby.
Okay.
Have we covered a
Interesting.
Tobe Hooper movie on this podcast?
We
I don't
covered
think
a
so.
Hinkle stinker,
We're gonna
Next Generation.
do Life Force at some point.
Yeah. I don't know if I could even make
Who's
it through
gonna
the
pick it?
discussion.
What?
I said, who's going to pick it?
I guess it just depends on category selection. I'm kind of like Kron. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take notes.
Mm-mm.
My hands
You
are going to
crank-
be busy.
You crank the first watch, note the second watch, and crank half the time.
That notebook's going to have to be thrown away, dude. Guys, we're not here to talk about masturbating over Life Force.
I can't
We're
wait.
here to talk
That is
about
the show, though.
Swimmer. From 1968, directed by Frank Perry. I'll just start it out. I think one of the things I like most about this movie is it feels like a Twilight Zone episode, but at the end it's not scary, it's just sad.
Yeah.
But it kind of plays out like that, like a 50s sci-fi serial.
Did you do 2 watches in prep for this?
I did 2 watches for this, yeah.
Okay.
Did you do 2?
I did because
I feel like the second one you key into a lot more stuff.
Oh, for sure. So this is first time in a while wife watched with me. And immediately we were like, all right, what's up with the daughters? What's up with this? Like we were picking up like something's off, right? This is too weird.
Mm-hmm.
She made it about halfway, had to call it a night. Next time I watched it, and then the next night over dinner, I kind of filled her in like what happened, like what the end was. And literally told her I'm excited to watch it again, knowing what you know and what to, look for in terms of giveaways. And ultimately, I think the only sequence that really makes a difference is that very first one. Because if you truly key in, I think on the first watch, like the big party or the first big party he goes to where everybody's drunk, like most of them are drunk already and they're basically telling you like, oh, this dude got fired. Like that's the big takeaway from there. But that first one, there are so many like little looks and glances and the couples, like they're entertaining him. And I think the idea that like they're all sort of hung over, so they don't really have the energy to kind of have a true emotional conversation. But there's good looks, there's good excuses. But I don't know, not to give anything away, I think maybe the rest of the movie doesn't necessarily have those giveaways, like those aha moments on a second watch.
Dan, got any first impressions on The Swimmer?
I said I'd watched it a few years ago and was definitely like, that's a multiple watch. So I was excited to get into it this time around. And yeah, like I said, Bones said on the second time around, you pick up on a little bit more. And then I watched it again today. And yeah, I think I still have some questions, but I think that's the point of the movie.
Did either of you happen to read the Cheever short story?
Did
No,
not.
that was your job.
Well, I did read it. It's just, I feel like the short story compared to the movie, I mean, the short story is only 12 pages, right? So it doesn't go in.
Sorry, go ahead.
It just doesn't go into that much depth. Like, it kind of has the same.
That's one, Dan.
There'll be more.
It kind of has the same, like, overall arc, I suppose. There's a change that I'll talk about at the end, but it's like the same story, but you just don't get to be in it for a while, you know? So it feels less creepy or like less weird because the time span that it covers is so much shorter.
Okay.
Did anybody get tension from this? A lot of stuff I read was like, and the tension is just there from the start. And I'm like, I wouldn't say tension.
No.
You know something's up.
Yeah. I wouldn't say tension either. It's more of just like a building, like something is wrong.
I think one of the things that it does masterfully is the uncomfortableness of it. It doesn't wade through that for too long. Like, it's not too cringy to maybe like modernize it in a way. So even on second watch, the things that I was like, him and the babysitter, or him with his mistress a little later, I was kind of dreading the cringiness of those on the second watch, and I don't think that they're that bad. They're just enough to kind of reveal a little bit more, scrape away, have some drama, and then they sort of move on. And then the working class folk at the public pool, it's really uncomfortable the first time, and then the second time it just becomes funny. The one guy's eye is shooting off 90 degrees from his head. The other guy's yelling at his wife to shut up.
Don't talk to my wife like that.
Yeah.
Why don't you just shut up? I think it does a good job, though, of him, like, to where it gets to where it's going to get uncomfortable, and then he's like, I gotta go. Like, I'm off to the next
Yeah, yeah. Once you realize, like, the state that he's in, that he can't even sit in it for too long.
Yeah.
It's nice for you as the viewer because you're like, hey, I was ready to go too. So thank you. Let's go to the next pool.
Yeah, that's always kind of, I mean, I think that's one of the things that works so well is anytime anyone brings up this guy's real life, he's like, all right, shit, I got to go. So you can just kind of jump to the next scene where you've got a whole new group of people. But yeah, it's kind of the entire time along the way, his backstory is unfolding just from all the conversations he's having.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say there's a ton of inconsistency, like what he's saying. Like, it's less lying, maybe more just like, fibbing. You know, obviously he's like lying to himself, but there's nothing so egregious, if that makes sense. Like it, and then even anything, okay, so like he's lost his job, and at the one party, one guy's like kind of basically saying, hey, I know another firm.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing really creative stuff. I think you'd be a good fit. Maybe you just take a pay cut for a while. And he was like, I'm not doing that. And he like takes off. And even that guy is like, hey man, you're in no position to sort of do that.
Yeah.
It like, okay, cool. It could be, there's, with the exception of the mistress and then the blue collar people at the public pool, very few of them are to his face aggressive for too long. Right. Well, who's like the first aggressive person? The mother of his friend or his neighbor that died? I guess she's the first one to say like,
it
who
seems
gave
like
you
that
permission?
one's not really related to his backstory, though. That's just kind of like you had, you know, like an opportunity to see my son, who you call a friend,
Yeah.
and you didn't do that. So she has like a whole other grievance than like that guy's backstory.
Yeah. Oh, I would say that that's part of his backstory. That he's not as great of a guy as he's made out to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the first person that's like not totally cool with him being there, or, you know, building up his ego and playing along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to pay your tab. You know. You could do all sorts of other shit.
Yeah,
You got to pay your tab.
Far from the worst thing, but it's important for these people.
Part of it, too, that I think is interesting is like all the very rich, aristocratic people are the ones who are willing to, you know, play along with him to a certain extent. Like by the time you get to the people at the municipal pool, they're like, fuck you, dude. Like, you owe us money. Like, they're so direct compared to everyone else being like, oh, you're swimming home. What a novel idea.
Yeah. Well, I would say
up with that crazy idea.
I would say we're well into Diablo territory here. Kron, were you wanting to do any sort of like quick synopsis of this?
No, I mean, I was just planning to like have a little discussion and then jump into plot.
Okay.
I mean, the guy tries to swim home. Like, that's his whole goal. And along the way, he meets people and you learn more about his past and like what has happened to this guy and that things aren't the way they seem. I guess that's what I would run through as like a very quick synopsis.
Yeah.
Should we rate your Letterboxd?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
All right. Kron Howard, I'll go first. At the time of our review for The Swimmer from 1968, the Letterboxd user rating is sitting at a 4.0. And Kron Howard, I'm going to give you a 3.5.
Kron, I'm going to put you at a 4.0.
All right. We'll see who's correct at the end of this show. Just real quick before we get into plot, Bones, do you think this meets the criteria of English TV cart? Like, could you see this being shown to a group of high schoolers?
That was actually one of the questions I was going to ask when you said that you had read the short story. Does the short story touch on some of the sexual relationships?
No, not really. The short story is more like they don't even really get into the affair in the short story. It's like Lucinda and him are at a party together is kind of the way it, or he thinks like, oh, I just came from this party. I guess it could still be implied because she's not actually like with him. But he's like, oh, I left this other party. I'm going to swim home. And it, like the big reveal of the short story is that, you know, they're like destitute, that he has like fucked up his family's livelihood because he lost his job.
Okay.
I lose my job all the time. We're fine.
Yeah, you just keep putting on your suit and then you go sit on a park bench for 8 hours.
Yeah. Feed
I
the
don't know.
pigeons.
I think Rumblefish and this certainly fit. Rumblefish obviously dealing with, you know, the teenage mindset in a way, and I think this works. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think I've talked about it before, like watching Clash of the Titans or the Romeo and Juliet, and both teachers had like poster board during certain scenes that they would stand up next to the TV and cover the screen. I actually remember Romeo and Juliet, like the next day when we were watching the second half of it, somebody in our class was like, hey, can you back it up a little bit? Because they were trying to get to that again. But I think they fit the category perfectly. And the main thing is that I think it was a stretch for the show. That it got us out of like action and schlock and horror and took us a little bit more highbrow. And how can we ruin that with our hums and herms and uhs and burps?
I think all three of these are movies that we would not typically bring to this show.
And that's what I was looking for.
List.
That's what I was looking for.
What were you going to pick it for if it wasn't this, Dan?
I can't tell you that because it's still a category.
All right.
I could see the swimmer in like a college class, I guess.
I think you could show this to high schoolers over Rumblefish.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't say he'll rip his whole asshole out.
It's implied.
Yeah. Also, there's like an orgy scene in Rumblefish. There's just two naked old people in this movie.
I mean, there's a lot of Bert's dong in this.
I'm wondering how much of that was the swimsuit.
He probably had a lot of meetings with the costume person and was like,
hey,
yep.
It doesn't matter. I think he looks fucking great. He's like 52 when he shot this, and he looks incredible, man.
17 pairs of those swim trunks. That's all he had.
That's rough, man. That would suck, honestly, to like...
It was like, I'm cold. It was like, God damn right you are.
Oh, the scene with his mistress, I mean, you can see their breath.
That's one thing we'll get into, because...
Is that one of the reshoots?
No, it's his timing. I think they say, he says, what a great August day, but when he's with the babysitter, you can clearly see that the leaves are falling off. Like, it is fall, so...
Yeah.
But then you look and everybody else is having pool parties still, so... I don't know if he actually knows if he's lost some months, maybe. I don't know.
I think he's definitely lost some time. Like, he doesn't know when it is. And even when he's talking to his mistress, he says a whole thing about, like, going to Toronto. She's like, that was 3 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, so the big, massive house party, I don't think there's anybody in the pool. The one guy falls in. And then one of the medium-sized parties isn't like the guy throwing it. Isn't he passed out on a floaty?
In the water.
Yeah. So I could see it being, the start of fall, and it's still just nice enough that people are outside. But
yeah, I think it's like the time we're in while we record this, where it's like the day is still 70s, but you're kind of getting in the last few parties you can outside before it's winter.
That's what I'm
if
doing.
It's 70. I'm not taking a dip, bro.
70's fine. You can swim in 70.
No.
In a pool?
If that water was still warm from the summer, I mean, like going into fall time 70 is different than like, oh, it's the first day of spring and it's 70. I'm not jumping in the water then.
Summer dick is done.
Yeah.
August.
But at that point, I don't care. If I'm office hours, everything's sucking up. I'm not trying to impress anybody.
Summer dick's gone. I'm getting pale and putting on pounds because it's chili, beer, and scotch season.
All right, guys, this is The Swimmer from 1968, directed by Frank Perry. We open on some shots of autumn in Connecticut, a bunch of changing leaves, some owls, some deer.
Nice.
Suddenly a man This is Ned Merrill. He emerges from the woods wearing only a pair of swim trunks. Throws himself into a backyard pool and swims around for a while. Suddenly,
Would you guys just let me emerge from the woods and swim in your pools?
If I'm
It's like
rich
out of
and you're
nowhere.
my neighbor, yeah.
Oh yeah,
think-
if we lived in that,
In the cul-de-sac.
yeah, and I just come out of the woods, you wouldn't be concerned. Like, what the
if you had
fuck
your
are you
swim
doing?
trunks on, I
Yeah.
guess it'd be fine.
Oh, I would drive up and be like, "Hey, what's up, guy?" I wouldn't
don't-
just come out of the fucking woods.
You're weird enough. I've known you long enough that you're up to something. So I feel like you'd be trying to get me to engage, like, hey, what's going on? Where I've now learned to just ignore you. Like, yep, cool.
lock the door, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think my wife would probably say, "What's Dan doing?" And I'd say, "That crazy bastard swimming home."
Well, even in the Outsiders episode, you asked us if we would, hide you if you broke the law. I got you, dude.
I'm just saying, if Kron emerged in my backyard from the woods, I'd be like,
That's the weirdest of the three of us to emerge from the woods. It would be Kron.
Why?
"Do we
'Cause
need to
you're-
call an ambulance?"
You're not like an outdoorsy, campy, active guy. I'm assuming
Damn it.
something went wrong.
Yeah, you didn't even respond to the text today.
All right, sounds good, Dan. I knew I'd be talking to you later. I approve. Thumbs up. Heart emoji.
Would you be wearing the same trunks, Kron?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of want a pair of those trunks, quite honestly.
I'll say this. If you guys emerged from the woods with those trunks on, I'd be like, oh, all right, I got it. Okay. Like, understand.
Suddenly we see a rocks glass drop into frame. There's a very tan man holding it with a killer lounge shirt on. The fucking beachwear in this movie is top notch. This guy, he's like, "Where you been keeping yourself, Ned?" He says, "Oh, here and there, here and there." This guy says, "Come say hello to Helen." Ned walks over to Helen. This couple is like real excited to see him. They keep saying, "Oh, it's been a while. We drank too much last night, ate too much last night."
There's
Ned?
a particular shot here where the homeowner is basically telling him, like, I drank too much last night. And it's almost like there's a delay in the cue from like when the actress is supposed to say her next line, because there's an awkward 3 seconds where the guy just says, like, I drank too much last night, and they both, him and Bert, are just staring off. It cracked us up. We had to back it up a few times and watch that. It's so awkward. I may actually even try to post that. It's such an awkward edit.
I just think it's weird that he like kisses her feet.
I mean, some people like feet.
I think it's a
That's true.
power move, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in those heels.
Yeah. They cut out the
Hey,
part where she
guys.
offered. Oh, there
Shut
he
the
is.
fuck up. Hey, guys.
Hey, that's one.
This one what?
Don't
I already
interrupt.
have one, Nate, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
What's up, buddy?
Most
Fuck.
points wins.
Give me 2. I don't care.
2 feet.
You guys are season 2. I don't know if I've swung by yet.
I wouldn't say
Surely.
swing.
Surely, yeah.
You kind of
You
just
get-
appear.
You guys swing.
What do you mean?
Do you swing?
Like key parties.
Yeah.
Sit in a little seat, dangle your feet. Go back and forth.
I would never do it without shoes, though. I wouldn't want to be like grinding my feet on the, whatever recycled tires are mulched up underneath.
It's
the
not
swing,
always like that.
These are 1968 feet. Is there any difference that you can tell, Nate?
Between feet now and then?
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's probably lead in the toenail polish.
Mm-hmm. There's lead and asbestos in the nail polish.
Okay, so
And the men now shave their toe hairs.
feet always being the lowest part of the body, they're gonna fill up with blood, right? That's just gonna happen. But like when you swing, are you throwing more blood to the feet? Does that make them more like when they fill up and they're flush and they're like plump? Is that? I'm trying to figure out why you like the swinging feet.
Like a pregnant lady's breast?
Yeah,
or something?
like.
Yeah, it's sure.
Do you have? Okay, so it's the same pregnant glow that like straight men are attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
You get
Your
with
feet get real
you
big and swelled up because you've
Yeah,
been swinging all afternoon.
you feel the need to protect them, right? There's an innate like tribal instinct to like, all right, we gotta fucking protect this at all cost.
or get down with them.
Protect the feet. All
So
right.
we know if we see a guy looking at a girl swinging, he's probably a foot guy.
Mm-hmm. If you're watching people swing, the foot thing is the least of your concern.
Damn, is that another like? Do dudes like? Are we kind of into pregnant chicks because we're like, yeah, we can do whatever, right? Not our problem now.
It
That's
is
what
a
it
whole
is for me.
category on certain websites.
Yeah.
So.
What's the foot equivalent like?
It's big swollen feet.
No, but I mean like the relief of like, oh, I'm gonna fuck these feet, but I'm not gonna get, athlete's foot.
Don't pregnant girls' feet swell up anyway from pregnancy?
That's
Isn't that like a double?
Oh, okay. Damn, dude.
The pregnant women, they're it's top
It's
tier
amazing.
woman when you think about it. You could do whatever. Everything's bigger and better.
Hell yeah. They ain't running away.
I'm gonna
Have a
roll
little
my
snack after you're done.
I'm gonna roll my Payless cash into a Lamaze class.
Nate, what have you been up to?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh God. I got in trouble again.
For what?
Did you have something to say?
I was going to say,
That's
can you
two.
not talk about it?
No, I was kind of like hanging out underneath like fast food restaurant booths.
Why?
It's where the feet are at.
Nate, have you thought about becoming a doula?
I'm thinking about it now. It's all I can think about. I could barely fucking string together that thing Dan asked about. But yeah, I got in trouble for hanging out under tables at restaurants. Golden Corral. They told me not to say the name, but I'm saying the name. And I was
They're not a sponsor this week.
I mean,
so you're
and
all
that's
right.
a much, well, was Golden Corral one of those that you could throw the peanuts on the floor at any time?
That's like a Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
It's a feeding trough, so I'm sure he could get a snack because they're just
It's a
dropping
lot of foot traffic.
Yeah, you're getting your fats, you're getting your protein while you're hanging out there looking at feet.
Mhm.
Again, I'm starting to see the whole appeal.
shit. You converted him.
It's a whole other layer of the world I've never thought about.
Oh, it's weird
I'm up-
down there. Hey, if you guys want to scrounge, I can get you.
I'm okay.
I know the best Golden Corral. They told me I cannot come back,
I
but
like
I'll
the-
go back.
I like the classics, but
I'll
I
go back
appreciate
with
it.
you too.
Nate, what are we giving this lady's feet? Would
10
you
out of
kiss
10?
these feet?
I tried to.
Okay.
She goes to the Golden Corral.
Did you notice that her second toe on one of her feet was substantially longer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a... Ooh. It's like a little bonus.
Yeah, it's like a digit with fucking 3 G's. I mean, it was...
I wish I could just even them out and save the extra.
Nate, thanks for
Little-
stopping
Little
by.
doggy bag for that little toe, huh?
It's always good to hear
That's right.
from you, sir.
Thanks, Nate.
Guys, come down to the Golden Corral. I'll show you
That's okay. That's okay.
a whole new world.
Yeah, we'll set that up.
All right, kisses.
Love you. Jesus Christ.
All right, guys.
It's always great
I
to
don't
see
know.
the metrics of these episodes because we know, like, when Cage and Kron leaves or Nate Hands leave, that's when people stop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You think they're just showing up for Nate
I
Hands?
think so. Yeah, we got to start getting all these Kron characters. I mean, they're not characters.
No.
Yeah.
No.
When Kron, you need to wait to go to the bathroom till the end of the show.
I can't hold it. I got small bladder because my unit's so big.
You think Ned's peeing in all these pools? Is that
Yeah.
really what the theme is?
You never see him go to the bathroom during the movie.
It could be true. I mean,
Maybe that's why that one lady was pissed that he was swimming without permission. He's a notorious pool peer.
Well, back in the day, they didn't have those piss dyes either.
I'm going to say, should
Are those
we
real?
today remake this with Kevin James?
Like
The King of Queens guy?
Buff?
Yeah.
Buff Kevin James?
No. Just regular Kevin James. All his buddies could own a house. Sandler, Schneider, Zack Schneider.
Oh, you come into my pool?
Oh.
Oh.
That's how you dip in the pool.
Kevin Hart
right,
would
guys.
be like the last one.
Ned walks over to Helen. He bends down,
Copyright.
grabs her feet,
No, it'd be Shaq.
gives him a big smooch.
Shaped like
Charles
Super-
Barkley's there.
Superman S. He can't get through it.
These two start to mention the big party they had last night. Whose party, says Ned. Oh, ours, but you didn't miss anything. Same people, same stories. Suddenly another neighbor shows up. Tells Ned he's been up at Cape Cod for several months. He asks, how's Lucinda and the girls? Ned says everyone's perfect, all grown up and beautiful. Ned's just loving the day, keeps mentioning how perfect the sky is, the water couldn't be better, perfect for swimming. Ned says we used to be able to swim all day at camp and we never got tired. His buddy is like, yeah, that's before we had a cigarette or a drink, or a girl for that matter. Helen's like, that doesn't sap a man's strength. Ned says, if it did, I'd be in a wheelchair. Everybody fucking...
That's a Kron line.
Hey, that's good stuff, dude.
I don't get it.
I get it.
Yeah, I do too. Game recognized game, Kron.
Hell yeah. Me, Ned, and Bones.
He's a rapper?
All laying pipe, dude. All right. Ned asks, he's like, why are you guys flying out so soon? Lucinda's going to be disappointed. This guy's wife, she's like, I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
Everyone like shoots each other a bunch of glances. Helen says we can't see Lucinda anyway. We're all going over to the Graham's house. They just put in a pool. Ned kind of starts piecing it together. If I start where I am right now, I could swim all the way home, pool by pool. He's like, the Grahams, the Lears, the Bunkers, over the hill to the Hallorans, then the Gilmartins, down the lane to the Biswangers, and then, and he can't quite remember who's next. And Helen is like, Shirley Abbott? He's like, oh yeah, that's right, Shirley. He's like, after that, it's just a quick downslope to the municipal pool and then up the other hill to my house. says he's going to name this river the Lucinda River after his wife.
Is anybody
Ned?
interested what she looks like?
Oh, I bet she's stunning.
Probably.
Yeah. So on the rewatch, the lady homeowner that is laying in the chair the whole time during this scene, when Ned is trying to get the other lady to go see Lucinda, he's like, it's a 10-minute drive. And he asks the homeowner, like, hey, can I borrow your car? The look that the lady homeowner gives is like sheer panic. And the way she's able to kind of say, like, there's not enough time, they got to like fly out, like, and divert the issue. You don't really notice it I didn't really notice it as much on the first watch, but that second watch, man, you're like, oh wow, she's masterfully trying to just like not touch on this.
Yeah, I think on the second watch, you notice like every little glance or like anytime someone interrupts and is like, hey, come over here and talk to these people,
Yeah.
like pulling people away from Ned.
It's kind of like a Shutter Island, almost.
Or a Sixth Sense. He was poor the whole time.
Ned doesn't wait for any more feedback. He just kind of throws himself into the pool, and then he pulls himself up out of the pool on the other side. His buddy who's there, he's like, that's classic Ned. Never used a ladder. Never needed to.
Same here.
He says like fucker could eat like a horse too. Like never really had to work out or diet or anything. He kind of throws some shade at this guy for being fit.
Yeah, well, he's put on some LBs, dude. Got a spare
His
tire.
buddy-
But that's
Ned
what
calls him
happens
out
when you
on it.
work up in the provinces.
That's what happens when you're New York rich, baby.
God.
We smash cut to a lady bent over working on her garden. Ned gives
Hell
her ass
yeah.
a real good smack.
It's like you were at my house on a Saturday at 6.
I mean, how physical he gets with
turn at 6 o'clock.
Just cooking dinner.
Oh, I thought this was like a.
Takes
thought you were,
a
like, having a
casserole out
dinner
of the
party.
oven, Kron. No, you don't slap your lady's tush at a dinner party. What's wrong with you?
I guess I
Where
thought
are
you
fucking
were.
raised.
I guess I thought you were implying you were smacking other asses at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I have children.
line up, children. Sure, nightly whacking.
Where's my newspaper?
How physical he is with everybody's wife is super awkward. And
I think that's just a 60s thing now?
I think so. And it got me thinking, like, should we bring that back?
No.
Maybe I should be the one that implement this pilot program.
No.
No?
It's awkward enough when we see each other and we have to like hug each other's wives bye.
Yeah.
like-
No. Not really a fan of that.
All right.
I like to hold the
See
hugs
ya.
extra long with the wives.
I like to make eye contact with a husband.
And I give them a little like, right in the ear.
Now you guys are going to lock me out of the cabin at 6.
I like to establish like my height and heft. Like if I do have to hug somebody's wife, I like to give them a little lift. Like, hey, this is you
Twirl
don't get
them
the-
around.
Yeah. If
From
there's
the-
space,
from
if
the
there's
ass.
space. But I'll lift them up just sort of as just to physically remind them, hey, we know who's in charge here, right?
That's what I do to you guys.
Yeah, but I just do the baby limp and you can't pick my ass up.
Nah, I cuddle you in and put your ass to bed in like 2, dude.
I don't think you could lift Bones or me.
I think I can lift both of you.
I think you better start with Kron because I'm sending your ass to urgent care.
Nope.
Are you talking just like my feet barely off the ground?
Yeah, I think he could do that.
I think you could do that.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to lean back.
You don't think I could baby you?
No,
Pick me up? Hell no,
Curl
dude.
your
No.
ass up?
There's no way.
You goddamn try me. What else
I
do
don't know.
we got? A whole Olympic 5DR events that should be happening every summer. Pod Slam 2024.
like
All right,
like
so
a
there's
bear
the human lift. What else is there?
I can't remember this. So many.
I think
Mount
we got to do
Lowell,
like
tell
we got to
us.
do like a door beat down, like who can bust through a door the fastest.
hmm
Kissing booth.
Who can like defuse a bomb?
Kissing booth is a great idea.
Who can empty a can of spray paint?
Who could fill up
Like the
a fucking
fastest
Gatorade bottle
puffing.
quickest?
Oh, that's me. I got that shit on lock.
I think you could have some competition in that field.
Give me 6 Miller Lights. I can pee all night, baby.
Shit, you give me 2 coffees, I can fill a Gatorade bottle.
Maybe 2 weeks ago, my wife yelled at me while I was peeing. She was in bed, and she was like, "Jesus Christ!" Because I was at
You're pissing on the bed.
I was at like second 90, and it was just voluminous and echoing through the house. You know when you hit that water just right, and it just amplifies out the bowl. Yeah, you could hit the porcelain and keep it a little quiet, but you want to establish. Again, just like lifting another man's wife, just establish.
I got up this morning and I was like, I don't really. I'll go pee. Yeah, I was standing there for like 3 minutes. I was like, God damn. Guess I had to pee.
All right. Outside of the sexual harassment, this lady is happy to see Ned. He's like, I just came down from Don and Helen's. They're driving down. Ned really can't be bothered. He walks over and just admires the pool. Mrs. Lear is kind of like, we just put this in. We got the fanciest filters. They filter out 99.99.99% of all solid matter. The water in the pool is more pure than drinking water.
What is her total number here?
I think 100% still. It's just, she's gone beyond the normal decimal range.
Yeah, I think that's actually a website if you type that in. Takes you to your fucking local LAN network. LAN network. It's like ATM machine. That's what the N stands for, you dipshit.
This lady starts making Ned a martini. He's like, I really can't stay. I just want to swim in the pool.
Oh, crap. That was my question. Does he drink a lot more in the story? Like the actual story?
The story's pretty similar. It's like every place that he goes to, he's like, oh, I'm going to have to, keep up appearances. I can't just swim. I'm going to have to like have a drink and entertain and do all that. So yeah, it's kind of every stop. Somebody makes him a drink.
Shit, I think I might have liked that more. Huh.
What do you mean? If that carried through?
Yeah, if he would just kind of come in, they don't really know that that's his intention, I guess.
Well, I mean, I feel like in the movie, aren't they one or two of them sort of forced to drink on him, right? It's not like he's seeking it out. And then when he goes to one, he's like, we'll have one just to appease the natives. And they barely finish it, I think I kind of like that because if he had, or you were anticipate, or even if it was implied that he was getting fucking hammered, I would sit here and I would argue, like, the dude is running and swimming so much, he's burning all this shit off. But then also I think it takes away from, like, the mental block, right? You go, well, is he just drunk or what? But I like him just being crazy.
His delusions.
Yeah.
This lady says, she's kind of like, oh, you never thought Howard would make it, did you? And Ned is kind of like, well, I was jealous of Howard. He got you. I was madly in love with you. This lady thinks he's joking around. She's like, well, You were already with Lucinda at that time. They kind of like laugh it off. Suddenly, Howard shows up. He makes sure to reiterate that the pool is top of the line. He repeats the 99.99.99 line.
You just gonna ignore the coolest riding lawnmower
Yeah, I
you've
was
ever
going to
seen?
ask.
It's okay.
He's a lawnmower man guy. Shit.
I don't know how much ground you could cover on that thing.
It's no Big
Doesn't
Red.
matter. It's a fucking classic. It's idling wrong. He just turns it off.
No, he adjusts the throttle.
Yeah, he turns it up.
He ups it up a little bit. Yeah, he's
She defends the shit out of him.
oh yeah, idle. What the fuck is he talking about? He's fixing
it. Like, damn, bitch.
Kron, how much like capitalism, class stuff did you take away from this film?
I mean, I think it's a pretty important element,
Yeah.
right? Because I do think like the very rich people are willing to kind of like they could easily just be like, "You're a bum, get off our property," but because he had that status at some point, they're willing to like feed into it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. Well,
They still have to keep up appearances with this guy.
mm-hmm. And there's also some interesting stuff just like when he pulls up on the mower and he's like, "What do you think?" And then she's like, "Yeah, next year we're going to get all the new stuff, the cushion, the canopy, even them pimping like the pool."
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's this just like like every pool is massive and empty in these rich people's backyard. Like
no one swims in them except for Ned.
Yeah.
Like they don't even serve a purpose besides being a thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Have.
And then you get to the well, I'll save it. My thoughts on it on the end. But
let's see. Howard says, "Hey, you should have put a pool in at your place. It helps with the resale value." Ned's like, "Well, if I ever sell it, I want my girls to be married there." Suddenly, the guests from the hill, they show up, but Ned's not sticking around to see what they've got to say. He just jumps in the pool, get like a cool cut. He jumps into this pool. We see him get out of another one, and he's like at the next house.
yeah. Also, key takeaway when he says, "I want my girls to get married at that house," in the background, you see that couple, like the husband sort of reacts like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" And the wife kind of is like, "Nope, shut the fuck up."
This lady that he comes out of the pool at, she's not happy to see him at all. Ned says, "Hey, I'm a friend of your son's." She says, "How dare you use that word? You never came to see him in the hospital. You never even called him." Ned's kind of like, "Well, did he get any better?" This lady just like looks down. She's kind of teary-eyed. Ned starts to leave, and this lady adds, "If you ever step foot on this property again, like I'll have you thrown out." Ned takes a run over to the next pool.
I've heard
Along
that
the way-
before.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
Ned sees a horse in a field. This movie has several sections that feel very dated, like very 60s. And him getting, like, it zooms in on his fucking iris and shit. And there's like a horse running through it.
This
It
is cool as shit.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It just looks very dated. I don't know if you would do that anymore.
Do you think that this scene is a ruse? It's something to sort of, because like at this point you're fresh to this movie, right? You're in on this. You know something's up, but he's like so vibrant. He's so positive, all of this stuff. Do you think, I sort of thought, oh, this is meant to be this guy is a yes man, a free man amongst all these uptight rich people. And eventually he's going to get, and he's like teaching them some lessons or whatever. Like us, the viewer, just watching these interactions, right? At this point, you may not even pick up on stuff, but him running free with this horse is meant to just be like Fucking a season 1 Wild at Heart reference. Just let it out. Like, let the stallion inside you run.
It's because he ain't got shit else to do, bro. He's fucking jobless. He's a fucking bum.
Right, but I'm just saying in the context of the narrative, like, you as the viewer, like, what are you supposed to take from this?
I think it's kind of that, like, he is a free spirit, and then also just that, I mean, he is like a, upper middle-aged man, and he still sees himself as, like, virile, right? Like, he can keep up on a foot race with a horse. Like,
Yeah.
That's what he kind of believes of himself. Ned does end up racing this horse. He keeps up pretty well. Let's see. After that, Ned arrives at the next pool. It is occupied by a couple 20-something-year-old ladies. One of them comes out of the water. Ned is like, "This isn't Julianne Hooper, is it?" She says, "Yes, it is."
No. Get out of here, perv.
Come on, let me give you a hug.
Mhm. I can lift you up.
Let me rub that belly.
Fucking bushel of hay. What does he call it? Wheat.
Yeah, a bushel of wheat or something. It
Open
says, "I
up.
can't believe it. You're
Hoping one of you could
that line
explain that.
works.
Try it out, dude. There's only one way to find out." He says, "I can't believe it. You're all grown up. How come we don't see you anymore?" She's like, "Well, you don't have a need for me anymore." He says, "Of course we do. We're always looking for a babysitter. How about this Sunday at 7? She's like, "A babysitter? Ellen and Aggie would have a fit if they heard you talk this way." The girl's like, "How are those two?" Ned says, "They're great. They're at home right now playing tennis." Ned says, "I can't stick around anyway. I'm swimming home through all the neighborhood pools." The other girl thinks he's crazy, but Julianne is like, "I think it's great. It's like a very far out original idea." Ned says, "Come with me." She agrees. They jump in and swim. On their walk to the next pool, Julianne admits that when she was younger, she had a huge crush on Ned. No matter what she was doing, whatever plans she had, she would drop them to babysit for Ned and his wife. She says once she even stole a shirt of Ned's and she would wear it while she was doing her homework. She says, "When you used to drive me home, I would pretend that we were madly in love and you couldn't say anything." Ned's kind of taken aback. He's like, "I don't know what to say."
That is the case with some men and the babysitter, yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of movies we can't cover on this pod that have that exact same premise as the starting point.
Also a lot of Dateline episodes, yeah.
I like that this is shot often from a distance, out of focus, through trees and branches. It gives it this sort of like dreamlike vibe. Like, how much of this is he building up on top of what she is saying? I believe she's admitting it, right? But it gives it this sort of like airiness and like more of a positive vibe instead of the creepy vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all this stuff with Julianne could very easily veer into like creepy territory.
Yeah.
But I don't really think the movie is like, I don't think the movie is trying to imply that Ned is a creep at any point. He's just like delusional, you know?
Yeah. And then the scene where it does get creepy, they're quick about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and that kind of was what I was talking about before, about it doesn't live in that for too long. It addresses it and it moves on.
Ned's taken aback. He doesn't know what to say. Julie and him continue over to the bunker's house. They're having a huge party. Everyone here is happy to see Ned. More of the same kind of stuff. It's been too long. How's Lucinda? How are the kids? We should go golfing sometime. One guy catches Ned as he's leaving, says, "Hey man, what they did to you over there, that sure was rotten. I don't care how good the new guy is. Another lady stops Ned. He's like, hey, where's your husband at? She's like, you didn't hear? We're separated. Ned says, well, you look great. Nobody could pull off this dress but you. She's flattered, and she's like, how about you come by tonight? You could, Dan.
Thank you.
You and me, we could film our own babysitter scene.
I'm always up for a challenge.
I'm just gonna play the mother at home, playing on iPad.
Who's like starts out mad but then gets into it?
No, I'm gonna cut some dicks off.
You get stuck underneath the coffee table.
I'm not getting stuck underneath the coffee table. I always have a way out.
You're like, what's wrong with your mom?
It's the wash or the dryer.
Mm-hmm.
Kron, in this sequence, maybe my second favorite line delivery, one of the guys that he runs into, I can't tell if the actor forgets his lines or he's playing drunk. But he's like, Ned, I expected you to be on the Xanadu with Willie. Like, he has this pause before Xanadu, and again, that was one where I backed up like 3 or 4 times.
I wondered if there are parts of this movie where I'm like, did they just have real booze on set? And these people were, it's like take 8, and it's like, I'm a little fucked up right now.
Yeah.
It kind of has that feel.
Xanadu with Willie.
I kind of get a Great Gatsby feel, like for the parties.
Yeah, I think
Almost.
These are like the upper crust. Like all they do is just drink all day long.
Well, the other big one is just a party for a dude's hole in one, which I think is just fucking hilarious.
Well, and show off his 30 tons of steel.
I think that's the director.
Oh, really?
The guy in the pool?
No, the one that is telling all the guys about like the steel, plastic, and
Oh, okay. At the next party?
yeah.
I think the writer is in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that's just like hanging out in a pool in a floaty, and they're all like, he started before everybody.
Yeah, he started at brunch.
Yeah, that's John Cheever. That's the guy who wrote the short story.
Oh, okay.
So we had the author in all of our movies we picked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, 5DR.
This lady, she is like, hey, Ned, what if you came by tonight around 8? Ned is like, I would love to, but I'm going to have to check with Lucinda to see if she's made plans.
Dude, no, that's not what you say.
Well, that's what Ned says. He's fucking...
Dan, you don't act on it.
His head, dude.
You don't act on it. That's not honorable. The most you do is a hug and a lift, and that's it.
And he's already committed the act.
You just use that later, okay? Be honest.
And you make a little noise in her ear.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
I think that's a little much.
How much child support do you think he has to pay? He just found out. This is why all this is happening.
Has to pay, or
he just found out.
I don't think he's paying any.
And he's like, $2,000 a month? It's 1968, Judge. He's like, slam my gavel down.
Well, that means he was bringing home $2,800 a month. It's usually how the math seems to work.
Yeah, dollars stretches more.
I just mean in my experience of talking to dudes that have to pay child support. Never once has any of them been like, you know what? It's actually reasonable.
That's why I got the go bag, dude. You can't pay child support if they can't find you.
Well, that's why I only cheat with pregnant women.
Just get fixed.
Right. This lady says, Lucinda, congratulations. She storms off. One last guy catches Ned. He's like, dude, I've been trying to reach you. I know these new guys. They're great. they could really use someone with your expertise. You might have to take a little bit of a pay cut at first, but it's all like upswing potential. Ned cuts him off. He's like, a cut? I'm not taking a cut. This guy's like, you don't need to put me on, dude. But Ned just like jumps in the pool. He's done with this conversation. Cut over to Ned and Julianne. They find some kind of weird like horse ring that has obstacles in it and shit.
Little training ring.
Yeah.
Yep. They're having a blast. They're just running around, jumping over shit. Ned goes for one last big jump, but he lands funny and fucks up his ankle. As they walk over to the next pool, Julianne starts talking about her job. She's like, I'm the first one in. But she also like tells these stories where she's like, I get there before everyone. One morning, I looked out the window into like another building. There was just a completely naked guy over there staring at me. And then she tells another story about how she was on an elevator and a guy just kissed her. And I feel like Ned is all like messed up in his head about this shit.
That's weird. I heard that same one in 1996 on in a taxi cab. That was weird.
Were you the...
Is that
Taxi
a
cab
taxi cab
confessionals?
confessions? Okay. Yeah.
That was you?
I was the cab driver.
Hey, man. How's your night? What are you doing tonight?
I always hate when I'm halfway through my dirty story and all the lights come on and the guy starts quizzing me about fucking nonsense.
What's the capital of Montana?
And it was my buddy. He was dressed up in the dress. And my other buddy, he was
rocked that
he was
shit.
He was stuck under a coffee table. Welcome to Cash Cab.
Cash cab.
Yeah,
That's
what
what that was called.
I was trying to think of was it Ben Bailey or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we got money for going out tonight, bro. Yeah, fuck out it. All right, have a safe night.
So anyway, my stepmom's stuck in the dryer. Oh, it's...
Yeah. Let's see. Ned's all messed up. Doesn't know how to feel about Julianne, but he does say, hey, every morning, like, I can just start taking you into your office.
How the
And
fuck
if you need
did
to-
that come around? Like, how is that a thing? How did that happen?
What?
The Cash Cab?
No, like, chick gets stuck.
We should be grateful
In a
for Cash
dryer.
Cab, Dan. We shouldn't question it.
I enjoy the cash cab.
Tis
I'm
the
just talking
season.
about-
Be grateful.
yeah, that'll work. Let's film that. Like, what?
What, a lady
Like-
who's stuck?
That's somebody's thing. That's a lot of people's thing. Like, no, she's got to be stuck, like, in a window or something. Like, that's a thing now.
Because one video did it, and obviously metrics fucking shot through the roof, and they're like, people are apparently into stepmoms and stepsisters being stuck in places. It's probably really easy to shoot. It's really cheap, and it's a stupid scenario to set off a fucking taboo. It'll be something else in 6 weeks, dude.
I guess.
I'm going to start putting my hugging videos up there, racking in the views.
Those aren't getting clicks, dude.
Oh, they'll get clicks.
I think if my wife was stuck, that wouldn't be like the first thing I'm like, all right.
Now, Kron, maybe we start adding the hums.
The
And-
hums could...
Yeah, we just tag it accordingly, you know.
This is still all safe for work content,
I think
though.
hums go behind the paywall, though. Like, you know, you cut the hums out for like the 2-minute clip.
Yeah, we'll put a sizzle reel together.
Yeah. Like, the hum shot will be hidden. And then in a few months, somebody will go in there and they'll make a humulation video and
Just all the hums stitched together, dude.
to Darude Sandstorm.
It's 15 minutes long. I haven't made it past 2 minutes yet. This podcast sucks. All right. Ned says I can take you to the office every morning, and if you need to go out and run an errand, I'll go with you. I can protect you. Julie's trying to change the subject. She's like, how'd you meet Lucinda? He says on a boat. I was with a bunch of kids in steerage, and one night I snuck up and met Lucinda.
That boat was the Titanic.
Ned dressed like a woman for a seat on the life raft.
No, he just swam back, bro.
Eventually, Ned is like, hey, do you still have that shirt? Julie says no. After a while, it just became a shirt. Ned says, you should have told me how you felt. There's so little love in the world, and when you hide it, it's wasted. He's like, I can protect you, Julie.
That was his subconscious going, bro, you are poor. You could use a shirt.
They're cold.
Yeah.
It's fucking freezing out here.
This chick owes you a shirt.
If you got a can of beans in that shirt, I'd really be interested.
Because I want to talk to somebody.
Julie gets flustered. She ends up getting up and running away.
I need that shirt to wrap all my few belongings together and hang on a stick.
Yeah, if you got an old mop handle.
I'm a true bum.
If you got an old mop handle, my shirt, and a harmonica.
Yeah.
Can I borrow some of your dad's boots?
Ned's able to catch the Howard chauffeur who gives him a ride up to the Halloran's house. Ned mistakes this guy for Steve, their old chauffeur. He's like, whatever happened to that guy? New guy's like, I have no clue. Ned says, you should have met him. He could barely speak English, but he had a big bassy voice and loved to sing. This guy adds, did he have a natural sense of rhythm too? And Ned's like, yeah, that's right. Like not even picking up on all the like super shitty racist stuff Ned is saying. But Ned gets out of the car. He gets over to the Halloran's place. These people are nudists. They're just sitting outside naked.
Living the dream, huh, Dan?
I mean, you paid for it. I mean, it's your place. Do what you like.
That's why you sat on the curb completely naked.
Nah, I'd stay in the backyard.
Be the change you want to see in the neighborhood.
Ned arrives. He knows the house rules. He starts taking off his trunks. These two see him and they're like, oh shit, it's Ned. You know why he's back. The lady's like, he's not getting a penny this time. The guy's like, couldn't we just help him out a little bit for old time's sake? She says, nah, friends aren't deductible. Ned notices this lady's working on an arrangement for a ball. He's like, put me down for a table. She says the tables are $1,000 a piece. He's like, all right, cool, put me down.
Don't put me down.
I mean, a couple nudists, you don't know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Could be $1,000 worth of entertainment, Dan.
Would you guys drop trowel just out of respect?
House rules, dude.
Yeah. He covers himself with the paper and the swim trunks and stuff. He's not
crass.
They do like the Austin Powers bit. There's a cool, like, kind of, I guess, what would that be? That'd be like a dolly shot that kind of goes around the table as he's walking behind him. Kind of keep him proper.
Still got that ass, though.
Ned seems very confused about a tree in their backyard. He's like, oh, it must be unhealthy. It's barren. Mr. Halloran's like, no, that's an ash, dude. They're the last to gain their leaves and the first to lose them. Ned's kind of like starry-eyed and shit, but he just ends up jumping in the pool, swims through. Mrs. Halloran scratches his name off the safari ball list. Ned's off to the next pool. He finds a kid selling
Probably
some
sucked
lemonade.
anyway.
The ball?
Yeah.
You'll never know, Dan.
Well, it was a
It's one of
gala
those-
to like save the white rhino.
It's like
These
a
people,
Bilderberg meeting.
Mm-hmm.
These people have killed the white rhino. That's probably what it was for. The raffle was for to go kill the white rhino.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so the nudist once got a boner at a party, and people referred to him as the white rhino, and he leaned into it. Was like, you know what? Yeah, I am the white rhino.
He's like, all right,
Or like-
guys, I'll be right back. My wife's stuck in the coffee table.
Bring a couple of my buddies over with me. Help me get her out. Ned's off to the next pool. He finds a kid selling some lemonade. Ned's like, hey, dude, you mind if I go take a swim? Kid's like, that's cool. But when they get back there, the pool is completely drained. Ned says the project is ruined. But then he's kind of like, well, if I just imagine the pool is full of water, I can swim through it. Convinces this kid it's a great idea. They get in, they're doing the breaststroke, the backstroke. They make it from one end to the other. This kid is pumped. He's like, I just swam my first lane in a real pool. But it doesn't count. Ned said, yeah, it does. We believed in it. We believe so hard that it's true.
Breaststroke videos do really well too, by the way.
It's where you push the boobs together, Dan, and then...
And then you white rhino them.
Ned starts to leave, but he can hear this kid jumping on the diving board. He runs back and he's like, hey, dude, don't dive in there. And this kid is like, why the hell would I? There's no water in this pool.
There's a little
Guys.
bit of water in it.
It looked pretty bone dry.
There's like residual rainwater way on the deep end, but not enough to protect his neck. And if Adrian Brody told us one thing, dude, gotta protect
Oh,
the neck.
wow. I thought you were going to say if the Wu-Tang Clan taught us anything.
Nope.
Protect your
Wu-Tang.
neck. Guys, an empty pool calls for an empty bladder. It's a pee break. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 5-Day Reynolds podcast. If you're just now joining us, we are covering The Swimmer from 1968, and Dan is stuck, it looks like, in the coffee table of his office there, and Bones is rather aggressively trying to free him from it.
Shoulders. He's the shoulders.
If he'd quit rolling his hips on me.
I've always
All
heard
right.
you twerk it to get free. I mean,
I'm listen, I'm hard, but I'm trying to use that to pry. Okay. I'm just trying, it's a lever. Okay.
I get it.
Yeah, it's like a crowbar to lift him out of there.
Mhm.
Now, why do you keep telling me to spit on it?
I don't want to chafe. I got to take a babysitter home later.
It's just basic physics, Dan.
Yeah.
All right, Ned gets over to his next pool. It's a
This show
swinging
doesn't
60
suck. It doesn't suck. It's not good.
It's a swinging 60s party. The wife at this party, she's not thrilled to see Ned at all. She's like, you never came when we invited you.
There's probably
Ned
some
says-
other people going to get a hole in one there as well.
Mm-hmm. Especially if there's a lot of
Welcome aboard, Dan.
coffee tables laying around. Ned says, better late than never, I thought. This lady's like, you thought wrong. Joan Rivers comes up. I don't remember her character's name, but that's who it is.
Joan.
It's Joan.
Oh, Joan. She starts making small talk. She asks if Ned is a friend of the Bizwingers. Ned's like, they're not even on our Christmas card list.
Burn.
Yeah, it's fucking hard, dude. It's a major burn.
I'm going to start using that, though. Yeah, it's not even on my Christmas card list.
Fuck. I guess Bones and I will see if we get a Christmas card this year.
Did I send one last year?
I think I got one from Bones.
Yeah.
I don't think we did one last year. Or I say my wife.
I don't think I've ever gotten a Christmas card. My wife
From anyone?
No, my wife gets 24 every year from people that I don't know. You know,
Just
and
random ass pictures of kids.
yeah. She does have one friend from college, and they go all out with their photo. Like they Photoshop, and I think 2 years ago was one where like they Photoshopped the husband, and he was holding out his hand, kind of like a waiter, you know. And then they Photoshopped the wife onto his hand, and then they Photoshopped, like, you know, every child up to the baby. So it was like 6 tall. You had to put it in portrait view.
Jesus. So you're just like eating Doritos, like looking at your refrigerator, like, huh. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, how did they do this? This guy's strong as shit.
This guy's huge.
What is he lifting?
Hope
I always
he's not
like-
stronger than me.
I always like when they say it, like they start the card and it says like, hello, Sam. And then my name is like sideways because they didn't leave enough room. So they like, oh, shit, we got to write Bones in there.
The
Oh,
last
it's-
letter is like underneath the
Yeah.
other one.
It's like, it's no, it's
I'm cutting that.
yeah, do that.
All right, this lady, she says, why are you here? Well, Ned says, the pool. I'm an explorer, noble and splendid. Ned jumps in the pool. He swims a lane. But when he gets out, he sees a guy pushing a hot dog cart.
Fuck yeah.
It's a hot dog movie, baby.
Another one for the list.
And,
Yeah.
And finally, we see some fire in Ned, man.
Bones, did your eyes light up when you saw this hot dog cart
I
make an
got
appearance?
so excited for this. Yes. Because it's so excessive. Right? Like the amounts of wealth that we've seen so far. And then a caterer
Well, I think
pushing out a hot dog cart.
I think there is like an interesting, like you understand the geography of where Ned lived. Because it's like he starts at the top of a hill, and as he works his way down, it seems like the people are getting poorer and poorer in a way. Like these people are not as rich as the nudist couple, and their party is a bit more like everyone is drunk already. They're not dignified in a way.
But Ned
Oh.
didn't. He lives on the other side of the
Ned-
main highway.
Well, but Ned, so you go all the way down, that's the municipal pool, and Ned says at the beginning, then I just have to go all the way up the other hill, and that's where I am.
Oh, Kron, I did not even think about that. I thought that they were actually getting richer. I thought these were like the most rich or most wealthy. And then he goes back up. I think I have that Sergeant York thing in my head of like the bottomland, you know, like bottomland's the most fertile. But I get your point. Like wealthy people are normally up.
Yeah. Well, and Ned Ned says, like, these people weren't even on our Christmas card list. Like, they are below me.
That's the insult? I just thought it was like
Yeah.
we didn't like them.
No, I think it's like a class thing. Like, they are poorer than we are. And we don't
That's okay.
deal
That's a
with them.
cool take then. Yeah, especially because, like you said, they're trashy. Like, they're dancing, but they're fucking eating caviar.
Yeah, but that's like they're having a big. They're like more drunk than anyone we've seen so
Yeah.
far. Like they cut loose. You know what I mean? They're not the kind of people you would bring to a nice party.
Okay.
Bitch, this is a nice party. In my eyes.
Does that awning thing? Does that 30 tons of steel? Does that thing move over the pool? Is that what he's talking about? Like that they can swim in the pool in the winter? He's like, it's all steamy, and you look up and it's covered in snow.
No, I think he
thought it
was
was just-
telling a story of whenever they went on like vacation or
Okay.
something.
Ned starts freaking out at this point. He's like, "Hey, this is my wagon." The wife comes over and she's like, "Yeah, we bought it." Ned's like, "Why would my wife ever sell
Is
this?
it-
She knows how much I love this thing."
Is it technically? Don't you pull a wagon? You push a cart. So
I think it's like built on a wagon, though. The
okay.
cart is built on a wagon.
Just it's
How the fuck do you-
hot dog wagon sounds so
do
much
you-
worse than hot dog cart.
Why do you need a hot dog cart?
For hot dogs, dude.
If I was a millionaire, I wouldn't have a hot dog cart.
I fucking would.
All right, cinephile, would you have a popcorn cart? Like
No,
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I'm not a popcorn guy.
Not even for your guests.
When the lottery system handed me that big check, I would be like, you know what? Go ahead and carve out a portion of this and send it directly to Oscar Mayer, because me and them are going to be doing a little bit of business.
Why wouldn't you just buy the hot dog bus at that point?
I want the cart.
Wienermobile?
Can you make hot dogs in the Wienermobile?
I don't think they call it the Wienermobile anymore. I think that's offensive.
Yes, we do, because this is America, and that's what it was started as. Fuck PC.
You know what I would
I don't
have?
think-
I would have like quarter, like those little gumball machines,
Pounders?
like gumball machines, but filled with peanut butter M&Ms.
You can do that now. You don't have to be rich.
Well, I need to be rich enough to have the jar full of quarters right next to it so I could control myself.
Right there.
Honey, get in here. I'm stuck under the quarter machine again.
Christmas is coming up, Bones.
I don't
Someone might
need
just
that.
deliver.
I don't need that. I'm cutting that shit out.
Yes, you do. I know the layout of that house, and we could fit
You wish.
an M&M
It would not
peanut butter M&M gumball machine in there.
Dude, it would not be allowed out. I'd have to put
Dude.
it in a fucking closet and it would suck. Okay.
That's when I come over and I'm like,
no.
where is the peanut M&M?
Good luck. Good luck fighting that battle.
But you don't need coins.
You'll
just,
get that thing smashed up beside your head, dude.
Yeah, you got it on free spin.
You're not married to a redhead.
I'll just keep sending them. Just once
I
a
really
month.
wouldn't use the quarter. I would just get a screwdriver and open up the top. Yeah,
It's not as fun, dude.
I know, but I know myself with fucking peanut butter M&Ms.
My daughter asked for a gumball machine for Christmas, and I was like, all right. And my wife's like, no. I was like, why not? She's like, no. She's not just having fucking sugar gum just to eat whenever she wants in her room. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right.
You'd fill it up once and then never again.
That thing would be in the basement so quick.
I mean, you could just use it as like a reward thing, right?
For you or for
No,
like, my kids?
like for your kid, you know? The
Watch
same-
your dad eat a gumball.
No, I'm
Dad's
saying
done
like,
good today.
did you unload the dishwasher? Did you take out the trash? You know, and she comes up and asks for a gumball, and you say, okay. And
No,
so
you
may have
you
a gumball.
fucking idiot. That's your job. That's what you should say.
All right, Ned says,
Where's my Oreos?
Ned says I'll buy this thing back, $100. Then he quickly is like, just name your price. I'll send you a check. This guy's like, a check from you? You crashed in, crashed the hell out. Mr. Biswanger pushes Ned down. Ned gets up and he's like, my lawyers are going to be in touch tomorrow.
See, Biswanger. These are the Biswangers. That's the most fucking rich name of any of them.
But these
Biswanger sounds classy.
You don't understand
like
the town,
waspy.
dude.
They're like right above. They're better than middle class.
They're no Rockefeller, but
They're the middle. They're higher.
Rockefeller.
They're higher middle class.
wasn't the game on Rockefeller?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Come on, Dan.
Like the David Fincher movie?
No.
The rapper.
The rapper.
The
We
game.
mentioned. Never mind.
Rockefeller Records?
Yeah.
This is how we do. Yeah, I know the game.
He named himself after that Fincher movie, though.
Yeah, I think you did. New David Fincher coming out tonight at midnight. Check it out. The Killer.
I'm saving it up
It's
for
already
Thanksgiving.
It comes out on Netflix.
Yeah. The correct way to see it, as intended.
Mm-hmm. At home, where I can pause every 5 minutes and check my phone.
I'm excited.
Well, it's Michael Fassbender, so I know when you're pausing.
Mm-hmm.
When he's stuck under that vending machine.
Oh, yeah. I got a peanut M&M for you, Michael.
That's how he baits his target.
Ned arrives at his next pool. If you
No,
thought
I'm
Michael
really hurt.
Fassbender. Yes.
If you thought the Biswangers weren't happy to see him, this lady is really not happy to see Ned. But Ned says, hey, I'm swimming home. This lady is Shirley Abbott. She's got a splinter in her foot. Ned
Can't they
helps
just
her
say
get it
no?
out.
Like, no, you can't use my pool. I'm sorry.
It's just a single pass-through. Seems kind of rude.
If some dude randomly showed up
Out of the woods.
out of the woods, it's like,
Wearing
I'm gonna
that
swim through your
swimsuit.
pool. I'd be like, nah, dude, get the fuck out of here. I'm calling the law.
He knows everybody, though.
Kinda.
If it'll get him out of there, I think I would say, yeah, and go. You know?
Yeah. Like that lady that was mad at him at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just don't ever come here again.
I mean, it wasn't like she was going to jump in and, like, get him, you know?
No, she'd get the pool skimmer. She'd just whack him and
Mash her.
grab him by the neck, you know?
Ned helps Shirley get a splinter out of her foot. He goes to kiss her foot like he does to Helen, but this lady kicks him right in the face. It says, everyone's gone crazy today. The Biswangers just snubbed me. And they got my hot dog cart. I used to keep it downstairs, remember? This lady says, I was never invited to your house, remember?
I can see why.
Ned says, how about I make us a drink? A bullshot. Did either of you look up what is in a bullshot?
No.
This thing is crazy. Here are the ingredients. Worcestershire, celery salt, vodka, and to top it off, double strength beef broth. Garnish with lime and Tabasco.
Why do you just have this laying around on your liquor cart?
Guys, that question's not important. We've got our next drink
Oh,
established.
fucking God damn it.
For Bud's trip, we are doing fucking bullshots all night.
I can't do Worcestershire.
Why not?
I think
You're bringing that up over the beef broth?
That's what I was going to say.
oh fuck. Well, you could have said, well, we'll do veggie broth, but Worcestershire I think has anchovy sauce.
All right, we'll get you a veggie stock, and we'll get you a...
I mean, I'm sure there's vegan alternative. Why am I doing that? I don't want to do it.
We're going to do it. We're gonna do.
If you're
a
doing it,
bullshot
you're doing
together.
the real shot.
I'm not doing it. It's against my
We're
religion.
doing it.
You
We'll
don't
get
have
you.
a
We'll get
religion.
you an all vegan alternative.
What
So
was
he just-
what was the
just doing the
alcohol?
vodka?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
vodka,
yeah.
Worcestershire, celery salt, and beef broth.
I thought you were gonna say beef eater, like beef eater gin or something.
Nope.
Okay.
It is beef broth.
Yeah. Well, at least it's clear.
Doesn't
So
sound-
disgusting.
It doesn't sound too terrible.
It sounds pretty bad. I've never once in my life been having like a tiki drink and thought, I wish this was more savory.
There's
just
got to
like
be
beef stew.
something to it that you've been swimming all day that you're like, bullshot sounds good. But
Fuck that, dude. Yeah. But we are going to have them the next time we're all together. So get ready.
yeah,
This lady asked Ned, how's his new living arrangement going?
What was
So
the
that-
other shit you tried to force us?
I wanted us to do double mints, which was going to be mint schnapps and rumple mints mixed together.
I'd rather do the bullshot.
All right, we'll do bullshots. And then we'll chase it with a double mints.
No, fuck that.
Oh, and there's a piece of double mint gum in it.
You invite those twins, and I'll take those shots.
Ned says, what new living arrangement? I'm still up on the hill. Ned tells this lady, remember when we went to Toronto last winter? She's like, I haven't been in Toronto in 3 years. Ned asks, what was the name of your play in Boston? Remember I came up on Friday, you faked a slip disc, and I cured your back? This really pisses her off. Shirley says, I spied on you in the lobby once at one of my plays. You were there with your wife and kids, shaking hands and smiling with everybody. But just an hour before you had been in bed with me, I put that smile on your face.
Burn.
The scene goes on. Ned asks, what did I do that was so bad? Shirley says, you took me out to the fanciest restaurant in town because you thought I wouldn't make a scene.
You think the Joker ever used that one? Like, that's what I put a smile on your face.
Mm-hmm. I fucked you, Batman. You were stuck under that
Yeah.
coffee
He
table.
takes off his Catwoman disguise.
Mhm. Ned says that he loved her. He didn't know what to do. Shirley says you went back to your wife who you didn't love because the money was hers. The property was in her name. She knows where all the shirt buttons are.
Goddamn right. Although this lady doesn't look like she's doing too bad.
No,
See, still though, she's in like a single level house and she's at the bottom of the hill.
but she's still got a pool.
No kids. She's got that fucking liquor cart there right
Yeah,
next
all
to the
those
pool.
bullshot ingredients just sitting around.
Fuck.
Yeah, beef broth laying out in the sun.
Come on, Nettie.
Just keep a crock pot
Stop
just
thinking.
simmering.
Ned starts putting some lotion on Shirley's back. He says we should get away together. Shirley says I thought we were going to make it. I really thought we were. Ned starts to shiver. Shirley's like, I'll go get you a sweater, but Ned says no. How am I supposed to swim in a sweater? He says Lucinda's waiting for me. The girls are at home playing tennis. Ned drags Shirley into the pool. He says, we made love in this pool and you loved it. Shirley says, no, I lied. I hated it. I hated all of it. Hated your old stories, your golf stories, your stories about your wife and your kids. You bored me to tears. Shirley leaves. She goes in and slams the door. Ned kind of sadly floats through her pool. He's not able to pull himself up on the other side and has to use the ladder.
You loved it. Hey,
It's probably like
biceps are popping, man.
Yeah, they were.
looking good. That's probably the cheesiest part of this movie, though, right? I kind of wish they lifted that scene.
It's
I kinda
where he
liked it.
screams.
It's the Stella, you know.
Mhm.
That's the Oscar reel.
Adrian!
Yep.
Once he's out, Ned's all fucked up. He's got to cross a busy road to get to the municipal pool. Nearly gets hit a couple times.
She's a crosswalk, motherfucker.
Doesn't seem like there's one around anywhere.
Just
It is Connecticut.
I see fucking dudes high on shit carrying a fucking Walgreens plastic bag full of empties crossing triple these lanes, you know?
6 lanes of traffic.
Yeah, just with sheer confidence. This man can frogger his way through
Could
this.
have offered me a ride, dude. Shit.
Once he's at the public pool, Ned quickly finds out he doesn't have the 50 cents he needs to get in. He starts begging this guy. He's like, I'll pay you back. Just let me in. He's got to do this thing. He's got to see it through to the end. Finally, this other guy, Howie, walks up, who Ned apparently knows, and he reluctantly pays Ned's 50 cents in. Ned goes in to swim, but an attendant is like, read the fucking sign, dude. You got to take a shower first. Ned kind of takes...
Question for you guys. Behind Ned, when he's arguing with the clerk or whatever, the guy hounding him for the 50 cents, there's a sign that says, like, no running, no horseplay, and it says no ducking. What the fuck is ducking?
I wondered the exact same thing when I saw it.
Is it like no Donald ducking? Like no dudes just walking around? Like a shirt is not acceptable swimwear? Like you must have bottoms?
That's probably it.
Okay.
I used to duck at the public pool all the time.
Oh yeah. Before they add that pee chemical now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what a duck does.
I'll pee in the pool, but I'm not fucking tainting my Ocean Pacific board shorts.
I mean, at first I thought it was no dunking, like don't push your buddy under the water.
That's what I thought too, but it
is ducking.
It's very clearly no ducking. So
Ned goes and takes a quick shower.
does it mean like you're not allowed to like swim and then dip your head in and put your ass up into the air?
So,
And just kick your little feet?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's gotta be it.
What were we going to say, Dan? You looked this up?
no ducking is the same as like dunking your friend underwater, pushing him down in there.
We used to call that ducking as a society.
I guess so.
Let's bring it back, boys. I'm going to duck you two so hard the next time we're in a pool together.
After those Bullshots, I'm probably going to need it.
I was going to duck you guys in the after showers, but not doing one today.
We're going to do one.
Oh, okay.
Got a 5-star.
Oh, yeah.
Shh.
All right.
Hint.
Ned comes back after his shower. The attendant guy is like, dude, your feet are all fucked up. Go wash them off. Ned does. We see a scene where, like, his feet are all cut up in the shower. They look like they're fucking trashed.
Yeah, he's been walking through the fucking woods barefoot.
But you know what? It does look relieving. Like there is something about like washing your feet after like a rough day. You know, it's very invigorating. It looked nice because that's old school soap. You know, that probably, that's probably made of true fat.
Probably burn those wounds that he had. Finally, Ned returns. This guy, he's almost satisfied, but he's like, spread your toes. Show me the bottoms of your feet. Ned
He's
does
just
all
in the
this.
feet, dude. He's just in the feet.
What's the like green shit they make him walk through? Is it like an antiseptic or something?
Yeah, I feel like it's just like a super high chlorine thing that you got to walk through to get into the pool.
It's got dragon shit in it, I guess.
Kind of wash your feet off, I guess, before you actually get into the pool proper.
Okay. So take a shower and then also double dip on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess if you're not showering with shower shoes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's to kill the athlete's foot that you just picked
Yeah.
up in the shower.
It's just an industrial grade tenactin.
Fast acting. Tenacting.
Finally, Ned is allowed in the pool. He swims through what is just a sea of human meat. It looks terrible. When he finally gets out, he's all winded. Guy asks him, "Hey, did your rich friend's pools run out of water?" It's Howie, his wife, and another couple, a big guy with like a lazy eye. Ned says, "Boy, that pool sure is full of chlorine." Howie's wife says, "Yeah, it stings the eyes a little, doesn't it?" Eventually, Howie asks his wife,
Won't be staring down no horses anytime soon.
Eventually, Howie's wife, she's like, "When are you going to pay your bill?" Ned says, "Hey, I'm good for it. I'll send a check tomorrow." They say, "Yeah, right. You'll send a check. You should have seen the orders I had to send up to this guy's house. Fresh strawberry jam, Dijon mustard, hearts of palm."
Yeah,
hearts
his
of
wife
artichoke.
wouldn't eat the regular mustard.
She had to have Dijon.
Yeah.
I feel like Dijon's not that fancy now, right?
It was in the 60s, man.
It's like $1 more than normal mustard.
All this shit they list is nowadays is like, yeah, it's just shit you buy.
Ned asks, "Hey, Howie, how's your son?" He says he's good. He got a scholarship, straight A's. Howie's wife says, "We raise our kids to be right. They don't party around and wreck their cars." Well, he kept his daughter's name out of the paper. Bet that check didn't bounce. Ned's like, "Leave my daughters out of this. They love me."
They respect me because they love me and respect me.
Howie says, "You want to know how they talk about you? We heard them at our place and they were laughing at you."
Ned's fucking joke.
Ned's distraught. He exits by climbing like a rock wall out of the municipal pool. He gets over to his house. The gates are rusted. The door is locked. No one's home. It's boarded up, and what little remains inside is covered and abandoned a long time ago. Ned crouches in the doorway, shivering. It begins to rain. The end. That's The Swimmer from 1968, directed by Frank Perry.
Wow.
Gentlemen, upon further research, this was released August 8th of 1968. At the cinema that week, no information.
Too old.
Too old also for a budget and a box office as well. I could not find it. I did find some information that Bert had to finance the last days of filming himself. I think he said he had to give up like $10K out of his own pocket just to get it done. Mr. Lancaster has always insisted that this was both his best and his favorite film of his career. Critical response was mixed at the time when it did come out, but everybody loved that he was in great shape. He was 52 at the time. I think Bones mentioned that. Lancaster was he was quite the athlete, but he had a fear of water, so he did take swimming lessons from Bob Horn, a UCLA polo coach. According to an article of July of 1966 in the New York Times, Burt Lancaster's wardrobe for the film only consisted of 17 identical pairs of blue nylon swim trunks. We covered Joan Rivers' acting debut here. There are a total of 10 pools used for this film, 9 residential and 1 public. That's all I got.
I believe the director was fired towards the end of production, and then Sidney Pollack came in and finished. One of the sequences was reshot. I think it might have been the one with Shirley.
I think some of that, and then I also read the scene with the chauffeur was reshot.
Okay. And he redid a lot of the transitional stuff. So like that cool POV shot of like him running through like the, I don't think it's quite like an orchard, but like the tree-lined road and some of like the dreamy, like ethereal stuff, I think he added.
Hell yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch the special features you put up, Kron, but I would like to.
Watched a little bit of them. I mean, I don't know how invested I would be in them. Like, a lot of it is kind of about the actual production and, you know, the people who worked behind the camera. I mean, it is interesting, but I guess I didn't feel like I learned a ton about, like, the meaning of the movie from watching that stuff. So, but if you want to know how it was made, it's a pretty good resource.
Okay. Are we ready?
I think we're ready. Rate my box!
Take me up inside.
Dan.
All right, guys. The Swimmer from 1968, directed by Mr. Frank Perry.
Wait, we gotta guess each other's letterboxes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He's already
That's
locked
right.
Kron. I was letting him guess for Bones.
Yeah, but he was leading into his...
He was. He's notorious for that.
You guys don't know what I was doing, okay? So leave me alone. Bones.
Put that basket of laundry down, dude. Like we get the hint.
The Swimmer. This is a tough one. I think Bones is a 3.5.
Dan, I'm gonna put you at a 4.
Bones and Dan, I'm going to give you both a 3.5 on The Swimmer. All right, Dan, now give us your final spiel.
Gentlemen, I refuse to give you my final score tonight. Hard pass. No, The Swimmer from 1968. Like I said, I watched it a few years ago. Very intriguing. Like I said, was happy to do some more viewings when Kron picked this for this beautiful category that we had. Thank you, Bones. I like Lancaster's performance. I am not a completist on all of his films, but I'd say, yeah, this is pretty good. I like we're kind of relying on everybody else to kind of fill us in or give us just some details on what's going on. I would really like to see like the next day. Just like if he does this again, maybe. Or because clearly this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. But I mean, yeah, it's got the 60s, like this is a total 60s movie. The concept of a guy swimming home and having a mental breakdown, I guess, because he got fired. That's a total 60s thing. I think at the end of the day, I'm a 3.5. I think maybe with more, it could be a 4. I mean, I have watched this 3 times now. So, yeah, I'd say a 3.5. It's good. It's not bad. I like like I said, you're very intrigued, trying to figure out what's going on. You know there's something off. And, yeah, I like it. It's good.
Dan, I think it's an interesting thing that you brought up, like the want to see more, whether it's the next day or more input as to whether or not he's done this in the past. For me, I think the film is very effective with just that slice of life, just this 8 or 9 hours that you see. After the first watch, I was excited to rewatch to see what layered filmmaking you would enjoy, knowing the reveal, the glances, the looks, the subtlety in the dialogue, the not so subtlety in the dialogue. I think it wanes a little bit. I think it's kind of front loaded in that. So if you were to rewatch it, you could maybe just watch the first few pulls and be satisfied. I don't think it really carries on, because at a certain point, even on your first watch, you're definitely aware that something is askew. This really came down to, is there anything super negative against it? And I can't really think of anything, certainly not in comparison to Rumblefish and Outsiders. So I was really shocked when the natural rating came out with me. I think Lancaster is incredible in this movie. I think it's one of the best performances that we've had. The cast of characters throughout the thing get really minimal scenes, really minimal dialogue. I think the most you get is Joan Rivers, Shirley, and then the blue collar people at the end, and I think they all deliver. I think the movie looks great. This 4K restoration or transfer looked incredible. I would not have thought that this would be higher than The Outsiders, but this is a 4.0 for Bones.
All right, guys, The Swimmer. So the first time I watched this, I was kind of, I don't know, I'd say like flat on it. I got to the end and I was like, oh, that's interesting. But at the same time, I was just kind of, I watched it. It was okay. But for some reason, this movie has like stuck in the back of my head as something where I was like, I should really revisit this. So when this category came along and I landed on this, I was like pumped to rewatch it. I watched it with my wife. She really enjoyed it. And I don't know, man. The second time through, I do feel like you pick up on so much more stuff, like all the little sideways glances and just kind of, I do feel like you have a sense of the geography of where this guy lives. Like you kind of get an idea of where the rich people are and where the poor people are, and how Ned has like, I don't know, kind of blown through all their lives. And I do think it has this weird kind of Twilight Zone aspect to it where I think it's hard in a movie to give a sense of like unease or something is off and not completely, blow that feeling somewhere in the movie. And I do feel like this keeps a pretty good pace, and it keeps a good sense of like, what is this building to? And the ending is rewarding when you get there. I think Ned is a very interesting character. He's clearly kind of this like Don Draper kind of guy that, he has been to the top of the mountain. He's had the trophy wife and the perfect house and the job that pays him an insane amount of money. And you realize at the end of this that he has lost all those things. And he's had this psychotic break. Like he has a lost sense of time and place and who he is and where he belongs in society. And I think all of that is super interesting. So the first time I watched this, I was kind of middle of the road. Second time I was blown away. And my third time through this, I was like, wow, this is like, I do feel like this is somewhat an underseen masterpiece of 60s cinema. So I'm going to come down as a 4.0 on The Swimmer. I don't know, man. It's a cool fucking movie. Check it out. All right, guys. The Swimmer would have an average score from the three of us of 3.83. Does that number sound familiar? Because this would currently be at number 19 on the big list. This would be right above Rumblefish, the movie we covered just last week,
No.
and right below Phantom of the Paradise. Are you mad, Dan?
I'll see you in a rewind.
I think I like The Swimmer better than Rumblefish.
Well, that's like your opinion, man.
I mean, yeah, you rated it accordingly. So,
Mhm.
Dan got a 0.5 in Rate My Letterbox, and I got a solid 1.
All right, as we know, this game is very, very rigged. Currently, Dan, you would have 3.5 Bones pulling away to a hot lead with 6 points, and I would currently have 4.
Kron, do you want to jump into Fuck Eat Kill? Do we want to talk any more about Swimmer, or are you ready to? Do you got anything else, buddy? I want to take the show
No, I
away
don't
from
think
you.
so. I mean, I guess I would just say if you've made it this far, I guess the surprise is already ruined. But,
Yeah.
try to track this movie down. I do think it's worth a watch if you've never seen it. Especially with 60s stuff, I feel like you never really know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I feel like this one is still, like, enjoyable and relevant today. It, as much as some of the shots and, like, the filming looks dated, I think the story is still enjoyable,
Dan, I'm going to put it to you first, dude. Fuck, Eat, Kill, The Outsiders, Rumblefish, The Swimmer, The English Room TV Cart.
Bones, a beautiful category. Thank you. Enjoyed it. I'm gonna fuck The Outsiders, because why not? I'm gonna eat Rumblefish. I'd eat that shit up all day long. It's delicious. And I'm fucking The Swimmer, or killing The Swimmer, sorry.
2 fucks.
I mean, they're all great films, really. You can't go wrong with any of these 3. So, there you go.
Right on. Cronny?
I think Eat is the highest ranking now under these new stipulations. I'm going to eat The Swimmer. I really do think it's a great movie. And I think people should watch it. I'm going to fuck The Outsiders. I mean, Diane Lane is there. You gotta. And sadly going to kill Rumblefish, which I don't think deserves a kill, but I found the characters the most unrelatable. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm fucking The Swimmer. I'm eating The Outsiders, and I'm reluctantly killing Rumblefish, but only because I know it's going to teach Rusty James a lesson.
Rusty James is coming for you, dudes.
Well, Kron's got a go bag. Good luck.
He won't find me.
All right, Dan, get us out of here, man.
Actually, I went to Tulsa. I'm right under his own nose, dude.
He'll find you. Tulsa got in the way. Ladies, gentlemen, folks of all ages, please, if you are on Spotify or Apple, rate, review, and follow. You can find us on any podcatcher that you like. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Threads. You can follow us on Letterboxd. Please do. Yeah, that's about it. Crash and burn.
Drink a Bullshot.
Here's to sugar on the strawberries.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the After Shower segment of the 5 Day Rentals podcast. I bet you're thinking, why the fuck is Kron still talking? This is after showers. One of these other two should be saying something. Well, that's too fucking bad, isn't it? It's an all Kron-led ep today.
God damn.
And people love it, dude. You're their favorite. Plus, Dan can't talk because I ducked him in the shower. He's got chlorine up his nose.
My eyes are so red.
Dan, wash your feet again. Somehow they got dirtier
Spread
in the
those
shower.
toes, bitch.
This is nothing but sand in this fucking shower anyway.
I think he keeps his feet dirty to dissuade Nate Hands.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Enough of Nate Hands. May he die one day and never be brought back again.
Please.
All right, so this is the after showers. We would normally be telling you what the next category is, but we're not doing that. Just a peek behind the curtain, we are moving into the Thanksgiving holiday on the record schedule. So what we're going to offer you up is the next episode you will get after this one is, of course, the box set 2, and you will be hearing Phantasm 2. And then after that,
And Bones is leading it. Sorry. I'll try.
They're going to love it.
I'll try.
They love the box set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the Hulkamaniacs that have remained around are stumbling their way through Phantasm right now. But guys, after Phantasm 2, we will be sending you a 5-star banger. It is a Kron selection. And this is kind of going to be a weird one. I feel like this is not a director I would normally pick from. But we're going with Thief, directed by Michael Mann. A movie that I do think is amazingly brilliant. I feel like it is smaller than any other Mann movie has ever been. And there's just a lot to talk about. It looks fucking great. Every fucking shot of the movie looks amazing. Are you guys amped on Thief?
I'm stoked, man.
I can't believe I'm the first one bringing a man to the podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Bones is a man guy.
Bones is a man's man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bones, do you like Thief? Do you feel like it's like minor man? I feel like, because it's not as big as Heat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Heat is just, it towers in his filmography. Thief is one I've seen maybe the fewest amount of times. Maybe next to like The Insider, which is, really, really great. But, Manhunter, Collateral, Heat, Last of the Mohicans, just those alone. So Insider and Thief are bonus. But I'm really excited to watch this again. It's been 4 or 5 years.
I mean,
Yeah, about the same for me.
Yeah, because I don't think I've watched it in this house. So
the Tangerine Dream score alone
Yeah.
is 3.5 stars on this thing.
is that?
I mean,
this will be the third Tangerine Dream score from Kron, right? Because Sorcerer and did they do Tough Guys Don't Dance?
no.
What else? Did
I might have one. I don't know.
We've done another one that is Tangerine Dream.
I think
though.
we've done like 4 or 5.
Oh, Near Dark.
Near Dark. Yep. But I feel like there's even another one
I
that
think there's another one.
Okay.
that
I
we
can't
have.
think of off the top of my head.
Might be another one of mine. I can't remember.
James
I don't know.
Caan.
1988.
Talk about a dream.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, it's like, I don't know if there's
It's a
more
5-star banger.
I don't know if there's a more perfect debut movie from someone, like someone that made something that hit so hard right out of the gates.
Sorry, I'm not trying to
I guess
ignore
we'll
you.
find
I'm,
out.
I'm scanning their.
Tangerine.
All right. Oh my God, this list keeps going.
Yeah, they've done a
They got
lot
a
of stuff.
lot.
Oh
If you-
shit. Okay. I don't know if listeners of season 1, there was a category that Bones selected. He had selected a movie, and the week that we went to watch said movie, it dropped off of streaming. So I ended up making a second selection. That original selection has a Tangerine Dream score. Wow. I've scrolled quite a bit and I'm still in the 80s. Holy shit.
They've done a lot.
I'm excited though, Kron.
I think Thief's going to be a good one. I think our release will kind of line up with Ferrari, right? So
Yep.
there's a nice little tie-in for, if you're going out and watching that movie, come listen to Thief.
Hey,
I will.
guys, I finished Heat 2 this week.
Hey,
Wow.
man, congrats. Kron, is this streaming anywhere?
I don't know off the top of my head, Dan, but I will make a copy available to you.
You mean you will lend us the Blu-ray?
Yeah, I'll lend you the Blu-ray.
Thank you.
It's a gorgeous
Was-
Blu-ray. Criterion put this out.
Gorgeous
A
Blu-ray.
beautiful Blu-ray.
Beautiful, beautiful Blu-ray.
Was Heat 2 worth it, Bones?
If we would like to talk about let's timestamp, or let's put a clear line right here, and we can keep this on the show for anybody that wants to listen. But if Kron's done, we'll end it, and I'll give my thoughts on Heat 2.
Yeah, Phantasm 2 and then Thief. Those are your next 2 episodes. Love you.
I will be announcing the new category and the film on Phantasm. So look forward to that.
Thanks, Dan.
Crash and burn, bitch.
Crash and burn. No ducking.
Keep drinking Bullshots.
All right, Heat 2. How much do you guys want to know?
Should I read it?
Yeah, is it worth reading? I guess that's a pertinent question.
As a lover of the film Heat, I think that you should just wait for the movie or whatever he produces.
Well, Man just came out and said he's making it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I heard 50-50, when it came out. Some people were like, it's awesome, and some people were like, it's all right.
It is dense. Bloated would be too negative. It's dense. And not to say that Heat itself isn't dense, right? You've got X
That's
amount of
exactly what I was
characters and
Gonna say.
yeah, but Heat is at least linear and Heat 2 is not. And about halfway through you'll get a little bit all right, man, fucking pick one. And they at least reward you at the end. It all does. I see why he had to break it up the way he did. Personally, I hate to say it, I think it would be better as a miniseries. Because I don't know how. You have to cut a shit ton to make it a feature.
Does anyone talk about huge asses in this one?
No, I mean, there's definitely a lot of descriptive female anatomy for sure. Again, so the last round of the audiobook, the word raw was sort of replaced by the word transnational. I mean, every other sentence was just they're creating a transnational network of fucking software, hardware, everything outside of the American border, blah, 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 like transnational. It's just so funny how like it like stung every time you heard it. Like, Jesus Christ, man, fucking pick up a thesaurus. Casting wise, I think I've heard Adam Driver as Macaulay, which will be
Culkin?
interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's did Ferrari with him, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
and in the book, Macaulay, it's prequel. It's younger Macaulay. So Rory.
I wonder who they're going to get to do Kilmer's character.
I've heard Austin Butler,
yeah, I think
which
I've
I
seen
think
something on that
which I
as
think
well.
would work. Pacino is
Bischoff.
the weird
Ironclaw.
one, man.
Keep it Pacino.
Yeah, skip Pacino.
Oh, just do the Irishman de-aging,
Yeah,
Yeah, he's still acting.
because you'd have to de-age him twice without giving too many spoilers. But
He's just going to be fucking airbrushed into oblivion in the movie.
But yeah, I would. I have the book. If you guys would like the book, I will pass it off. If you have, I think the audiobook is like 18, 19 hours.
God damn. The audiobook for The Swimmer was 28 minutes.
Okay, yeah, we'll see. But this is just extra for everybody. So what I'm excited about is now I can really focus my attention onto Bob Ham's Overload series
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
knock this bad boy out. And I'm also, I don't know about you guys, I'm fucking excited. Reacher season 2 comes out right when I go out on Christmas break.
I don't think I finished season 1.
Oh man. How do you feel
Get
about
on it, Kron.
CGI fire?
Anti? I'm a lot bigger fan of
fire
real
only.
fire.
Yeah, we know. Smoking around dynamite and shit. All right, I think that's enough for everybody. This bonus. So, bye. Thank you. Love you. Have a good holiday.
Love you. Love you all. Be safe.
Thanks for listening to the spooky season. It's doing well.
Thanks to all our guests.
Mm-hmm.
We love you guys.
Keep jabbing us on the Discord. It's fun.
Some good times last night.
Mhm.
I was laughing a lot.
All right. Love you guys. Good night.
Crash and burn.
Peace to the world. Peace to the world.
All right. This podcast sucks.